Hello, this is Lino Tadros, and in this video we would like to show you how to enumerate through all the page templates available in the system for Sitefinity. So let's go ahead and get started. There we are in Visual Studio 2022. I have a demo Sitefinity 15 available, and what I'm going to be doing right now, you can use Sitefinity 14 or even 13 to do the same thing, but I'm going to be using the latest of the Sitefinity 15 to do this. You have two choices. You can actually do this even on an ASPX page if you want on the site. As long as it's running from inside of the site, that code will be available through the native API of Sitefinity. Or you can create a widget in Sitefinity itself that you can use the CLI at the command line here at the bottom by saying SF add widget, and you can give it a name. Or I can use the V6, which is an extension that is free. You can install in Visual Studio 2022 to be able to do that. I'm going to use the easiest one. Go right click on anywhere inside of the project and it will say add, and all the way at the bottom Sitefinity will show up because I have the V6 extension for Visual Studio installed, and I'm going to say widget. And from that point on, that little dialog will come up, ask me what is the name that I want. Let's call it list templates. Okay, that is the name of my widget, and we'll say okay. That will run the CLI behind the scene. And I'm going to say overwrite, and hopefully from that point on I will end up getting under the MVC in here the controller, a model, and a view folder as well. Let me go ahead and include them in the project so I can compile them. Right click on the list template controller and we'll say include in project, and the model will include in the project as well, and the view for the widget will include in the project. And if you want to find out more about everything I've done in the last minute or so, there are other videos in here in YouTube that you can actually watch to get a little bit more information about creating widgets, and also how to install the V6 and the CLI. There are a lot of videos about that in my playlist as well. Alrighty, let's go ahead and open up the list templates controller in here, and let me go ahead and give it a different name, and we will call this one list space template for the title, and in here we'll call it, for instance, we'll go ahead and put it in the training box. We'll say the training box. Okay, all right, we'll go ahead and say save. And just really quickly, I wanted to show you how to enumerate through the templates. So the templates can be achieved by actually going through the page manager itself. So if I go, for instance, to the action result in here, I can say first of all page manager. There you go. We'll give it a name. We'll call it PM equals page manager. Look at the co-pilot in Visual Studio knows exactly what I'm doing. It's reading my mind. So that is what I need. And then from that point on, I can say var templates with an S, because I want to get all of them. And I'll say pm.getTemplates. That is the API that will allow us to do that. Alrighty? So I want to stop right there. I'd like to run this code to show you what will come back. I just wanted to go ahead and put a breakpoint in here. Let me put a breakpoint, and I'd like to start. I'm not going to do anything with the list coming back. I just want you to see how you can get to it and how to list the enumerable that comes back from the system with all the templates available. And the reason why I wanted to show you that, to be honest with you, is that when you go to the page templates with Bootstrap 5 is the only resource package available. Notice resource package here is Bootstrap 5. You should see in the user interface only 4 page templates, right? The one column header, the left sidebar, the right sidebar, and the default one. These are the 4 that I'm expecting to see. But when we actually go ahead and run this, you will notice that there is a lot of them. There is some of them are coming from the old web forms, and there is 2 or 3 of them coming from the back-end templates, because Sitefinity doesn't discriminate. You ask for the templates, there is a table in the database that has all the templates, whether back-end, front-end, hybrid, web forms, MVC, everything. So let's go ahead and see how we can actually investigate this part. I'm going to go ahead and compile and run. We'll say run this in debug mode so I can stop on the breakpoint, and I'll come back once Sitefinity starts. All right, Sitefinity compiled and it's ready to go. There is the dashboard in Angular for the Sitefinity 15. I'm going to go click on pages, and we'll open up, let's say the home page is the only page that I have. It just has a hello world in it right now. And if we've done our job correctly, that widget should have got registered automatically. I should get a new section called the training box that will have the new list templates widgets available for me as well. There we go. We'll close the content. There is a training box, so it did work. And there is my list templates. If I grab this one of those and let's put it, for instance, at the top, I'm going to stop on the breakpoint right away here in the code. Excellent. So now I'd like to push F10 in here. And what I would like to do is actually go to the template, put the cursor over it, and if you open up the arrow, you will get some information. But what I would really like you to do is to click on the viewer for the enumerator. So if I go in here and say view the enumerable visualizer, you will get a very good idea of exactly what came back in that collection of templates by calling get template. So we'll wait for that dialog to come up, and there it is. Obviously, it is not the 4 template that I see in the back end. There is a lot more than that in here. And you'll see, for instance, the page template, the state encryption. There is like tons, almost 30 or 40 different columns coming in from the system to let us know. And notice some of them have exactly the same ID and some have different IDs. There is only one of them that has a name called Bootstrap 5.default. And that's because, by the way, this one is coming in from the layouts folder in the resource package, and it has a name called the resource5.default.cshtml. The name of it itself in the database will be Bootstrap 5.default. But if you can go down a little bit to the right, you will start seeing a lot more information about all your templates. Some of them are going to be very important for us. For instance, the framework that is being used. Is it hybrid? Is it web forms? Is it MVC? Very important. So let's keep going here all the way till the end. And again, if you would like to spend some time to see all of the things that you can get from the database to tell you what's going on, please feel free to do that, even the caching on them. This is another one that I find it very, very interesting as well. You see, the page template.name, these are all the ones in the database. Notice at the bottom, there are 4 of them that has the word default. Don't get confused about that because they are different ones. They are all based on the default one, which is coming in from the file system. But all of them, the 3 other ones, are coming in from the database. One is the left sidebar, right sidebar, and the one that has the header and footer only. So these are the 4. So obviously it's not enough for us to just get the name. We need probably to get a little bit more information about that. These other ones that have the left sidebar, right sidebar, and all that, these are the hybrid ones or the web forms based ones. So be careful with that. Also notice there is one here called default backend. There is another one called backend HTML5, and all the way at the bottom says default backend empty. These are in the database as well. You won't see them when you go into the page templates themselves, but know that they exist. They have their own GUIDs, and you can actually use them in code if you'd like as well. Let me go find out which one is very important for me. So I'm going to go to the one that has framework. Let's see if I can find it really quickly. In here, there's so many of them, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna go in here. Almost there, almost there. I just don't want to miss it. Framework, framework, framework. I must be blind. Finally, there is the framework in here. Notice that most of them are hybrid. Actually, even that is not 100% correct. This is a small or a lowercase f in here. For some reason, there is 2 things in the database. One with a small or a lowercase f, which is incorrect because some of these things are not hybrid. They are MVC. And there will be another one with a capital F, right? And that one will be the correct one that will contain all the necessary one. Let me find it and I'll show you what it is. All right, I found it. There it is. See the capital F? This is the correct one, so make sure you point to the one with the capital F. These are all hybrid based on web forms, and there are 4 of them in here called MVC. That's the frameworks being used. So if I would like to actually change my query to say only get me the templates that have the framework equals to MVC, that will be much better because I don't want to get any of the other ones at all. All right, no problem. Let me go ahead and close this guy down, and I'm going to stop this from the debugging. And I'd like to change my my pm.get templates, and I'm going to put a link in here. We'll say .where, that is a system link. And in the where itself in here, and by the way, where you have to add the system.link, otherwise we will not know what we're talking about. I'm going to use a lambda expression. We'll say t for template goes into t dot, and we will call this one framework. It has to be the capital F1. and we will make sure, oops, and we will make sure this one is equal to page template framework, page template framework dot, and we will look for something called MVC. Notice it is hybrid, MVC, web forms, I want MVC. And if you don't like this too long, you can just take this page model, Control X this guy, and we'll put it in the using statement so we can actually have a nicer looking code inside of there. Sounds good? So if you take a look at the code now, let me turn off this. It's get templates, but I want you to go and get me only the ones that are MVC only. Okay, so let's go ahead and save all the stuff. I'll run it again. I'll stop the recorder, come back after Sitefinity starts. All right, I ran the site and now we are in the home page, but notice it's loading because the breakpoint have hit already. So let's go ahead and push F10 again one more time in here, and let's go back to the templates and see the enumerator for the visualizer itself. And now let's see, we're not going to get all the ones that we had before. We will only have 4. So that means there are only 4 different MVCs, which I am expecting that, okay? If you go definitely a little bit to the right, you will see some weird things in here. So I wanted to show you that so you can actually make sense of it all. Alrighty, let's see the first weird thing that you will encounter in here. And that is this one. The lowercase f in here, it has 2 hybrid and 1 hybrid. I already told you I want only the MVCs. Why are you showing this? Well, it's based on the capital F framework. So this is incorrect. So go a little bit further and you'll get the correct one with the capital F in here. Soon, we're getting there. It should say all of them are MVCs. There it is. See, page template.framework with a capital F, all of them MVCs, and that's the one I'm actually interested in to make sure all of them are based on MVC. Does that make sense? Now that you have all of them, you can actually get their names, you can get their title, you can get all this information, steal it here from the enumerator, and then be able to write more code. We will see in other videos how to use that name of the template, for instance, to do more things with it, so that you can get all the different placeholders available on a specific template and their position, the index 0, 1, 2, whatever, so that later on we can actually insert a specific widget that I have access to the class of it as a controller into a specific placeholder, into a specific template or page if I want to as well. Hopefully this was useful to you, just to give you a hint what's going on with templates, and don't get confused between the lowercase f and the capital F in the enumerable visualizer inside of Visual Studio. Thank you, and I'll see you again in a future video very soon. Thank you.